Hey folks! Welcome back to Let's Play LSD. I'm your host CPC Gamer, and in our last episode, we got to day 333. That means there's only 21 days left before the big finale. That means the ending is so close we can practically taste it. But don't taste it though, because PlayStation discs... I mean, I know they look like donuts, but licking them is not a very good idea. You cut your tongue on all the jagged polygon edges. And then where will you be? Eh? Where will you be then, teddy bear? I don't know. But you certainly don't want to be there. So you can just go and be somewhere else. Go eat an N64 cartridge or something, because all they taste like is blurry JPEG textures. No, I'm not entirely sure what I'm talking about. So... let's link with the TV. Ooh, and ominously fade to black. As we move on to something a lot more wholesome. Preferably not to do with which video game storage medium tastes the best. Because the answer to that is Neo Geo cartridges. So with that settled, let's abruptly teleport to the middle of the womb. Totally intentionally, I might add. And pause for a moment, because some of this corner is upside down. Well, no wonder I couldn't read a bunch of this stuff. Like, I'm seeing he and ru, except upside down. Well, this doesn't really explain a lot, because my lack of familiarity and practice with kana is why I can't read it. But displaying this stuff upside down is kind of a dick move. Oh, and these ones are back to front. There is e and te, but backwards, and that's just stupid. And at what end? Game. Like, the inners usually have an organic, muscular texture. Why did you feel the need to reverse it? I mean, beyond the obvious answer, you are playing silly buggers. Kind of like jamming me in the floor. And on the topic of the textual tile sets, I wonder how much of the game is improved by the ability to read and understand the writing on the scenery. Because, like, my eyes are just flitting around the screen right now, and I can pick up individual characters. I can see te, ku, mo, stuff like that. But I'm not pausing to focus on any of it, because I can't reasonably read whatever it's saying. And I wonder if, like, the way that the dreams evolve, certainly the locations on the dream chart, change if you are able to stand and stare at wall X for an amount of time, and read it and take in what is being said to you. And probably not, because the various characters say things like terror and time when you're in the violence district, and staring at those hasn't really changed anything, so who even knows? Man, there's nobody in that room, so we can't ask them what they know. We'll have to go back to our day job at the corporation and find a man sat behind a desk and ask him what he knows. Or the sailor, because I can see him in the background. I bet he knows the score. But he'll never tell you what it is, because he's too busy staring out to sea, remembering what it is and what it took from him. But that's alright, because I know the score, and the answer is 3-0. Oh, I can hear the plane. Or the empty howling of nobody laughing at my commentary piped in because this game has somehow attained sentience. Okay. Oh, hey fella. I still didn't quite... Forget that! Plane! Aw, man, it crashed again. That's some of the saddest times. And we fade out so we don't have to look at it anymore. And apparently our reward is this video. This is one of the rarest spawns in the game, I am told. And rightly so. This is the second time we've seen it in this playthrough. Or maybe the third. I don't know. Despite my previous 3-0 joke, I'm not actually keeping score. I also don't quite know what's going on in this playthrough. I've forgotten the majority of the stuff that I've done. Still, this is presently episode 90, so if you've been following this LP from the start, then you kinda know how I work. Also, I'm pretty sure you're a robot if you're still here. Keep watching, though, because if you stop, then we'll know for sure, and that's when barriers break down and the war starts. Oh, I'm here. I'm going to go and see if the woman in the house is there. And if she is, if she will make the scenery grow taller again. I'm kind of annoyed the game did that without obviously announcing it last time and then ended the dream just as I noticed it, so hopefully this dream will make up for it. If she's in... Is this the house? Yes, I think this is the house. Right, are you in? Oh, she is. Even more excellent. Right, let's see what you've got. Yeah, see, what you don't got is a carpet. Looks like you've just thrown sand all over the floor, like my Minecraft house. Oh, she's tracking. Not making the world change, which is what we want, but I mean, it's a start. So do you do any... No, that's just fine. I didn't want to do anything in there anyway. Moving on. I mean, this is the sort of thing that I was talking about earlier. Maybe the game knows that I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, so it's just digging in its heels and decidedly not playing. Oh, and I'm back here. Now, this place looks like it's made out of headstones, I've got to be honest with you. I think it's the gold on black. And the stone footsteps, obviously. Can you tell I've had reason to visit the cemetery many times in recent days? Yeah. But hey, so that is really depressing. Let's talk about something happier. How about? That's going to be a bit tricky, because I also cannot find the door. Game, show me the door. But not really, because I still want to stay here and keep playing. That's a line from 1001 Unfunny Jokes. And it's a book. And if you want it, then you can't have it, because I already bought the copy. Because it's actually my autobiography. Yeah. Anyways, now we're at the pit. That joke was the pits. Alright, I'm done with that. I'm also done with almost jumping down the pit. See, that was an automatic response. Although that said, I did make a couple of pretty terrible jokes, which has brought shame and dishonor to my family, so down I go. Oh, and into a new square. I'm doing pretty well for those lately. Although that lower right one still makes me sad. I was so happy to fly off the edge of the dream chart, and pretty soon it's all going to vanish. Well, day 335. 19 days left until the end of the game. And we're going to do it all today, in this episode. It's a super jumbo special. Let's go! Not really, though. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, we're in a corridor somewhere. Now, is the giant face going to be here today? Why, no. Okay. Wow, that's an aggressive draw distance. But hey, at least the game is going to run faster than 5 frames a second now, right? And I'm also going to go see if that old lady is there. Is that an offensive phrase? I feel like it kind of might be. Like, at work, I always use ma'am or young lady when addressing a customer directly or indirectly. And in turn, they call me, "Oh, you!" Which is pretty great, I think you'll find. And I don't think that woman's going to be there, you guys. Kyoto's burning, so... Yeah, see? She obviously had a lot of sense. So she's picked up her stuff and hightailed it to somewhere that is less on fire. And I think that I'm going to follow suit. Because about the only thing I had plans for was the woman in the house. So, let's hightail it out of here. Thank you, tree. You are a pal. Oh, and now we're in the natural world. You see, one of the entries on the wiki suggests that living things, like trees, bushes, plants, that kind of stuff, that will generally take you to the natural world, and it helps the dream to become more dynamic, while man-made, non-living things will make it more static. Now, I don't know about that. I mean, it would make sense, but as always, this is a trying to apply logic to dreams, which you can't do. I mean, I once had a dream where I worked for a company that did submarine tours, and my job was to run ahead of the submarine and scare all the fish out of the way. Like, how do you figure that? Also, Kyoto continues to burn in our absence. I was going to say that was excellent, but that makes it sound like I'm secretly some kind of serial arsonist. So I don't think I'd be particularly happy if Kyoto was on fire. Oh, look at that! The bell says "Ya" on it! I can read bits and pieces. Slowly and eventually, right? Yeah. See, one of my mum's favourite sayings is that it doesn't matter how slowly you're working out, because you're still working out more than the people on the couch. And I guess that didn't quite work out the way I had hoped. See, I was going to observe the bell from afar, but I guess the game had other ideas. And well, the game knows its own systems better than I do, so I guess that absolutely is the best outcome. Oh, and I thought this was the bridge with the sunken city beneath it. Ah, well. Still, let's keep exploring. Or not. I thought this was one of the places where you just kind of warp over to the waterfall. Oh, but look at that, there's a definite end of the waterfall model. Didn't know that. Although sadly we didn't get to watch it fly over our heads as we fell into a pit, but trust me, it's there. Would a brand new square on the dream chart lie to me like that? Probably, actually, because it's LSD the Dream Emulator, so who knows what's going on? I mean, I do, but only to the extent that I know it's day 336, and I just mashed go so we can see what's going to happen. And we begin with a dreadful cacophony. Big word for someone who's been sitting here talking for 2 hours and doesn't get paid for just doing it. Possibly because I'm not very good at it, apparently. Also, we're right here already. As if we've had a couple of looped dream sequences before now, but never ones that start here. I think this game is now deliberately messing with me. Especially since that lady is now up on the bridge. This has literally never happened before. Except for all those times that it has. Ooh, but she's pre-tracking though. That probably means something. How you doing up there, ma'am? I'm screwing with NPCs. I wonder how far that goes. Because, I mean, presumably she will just automatically face wherever you are in the map, but how far away can you go before she stops? I mean, you can get about that close before the game decides you've had enough. Ah, well. Still, I don't know how long the actors stay in the game's memory once they've loaded in. Like, if they are always there, then as long as you are in the map, the woman on the balcony will follow us around. Like, literally, as long as we are in the Kyoto map. I mean, same deal with the woman walking along the riverbank. Once she spawned in, her position would remain constant, even if you wandered to the other end of the map and back again. Okay, so I know this isn't the easiest method of explaining this, because it's all behind-the-scenes stuff that you can't see, but Pinnacle has just started recording a second video, and it's never done that before. And I've explained before now how I have to trick Pinnacle into thinking it's simultaneously Japanese, American, and French at the same time. Simultaneously at the same time. That's redundant. Point is, this is something I do at the start of the video, and I can't drop in and out of doing it. So maybe the rest of this episode is going to be in black and white. Maybe the rest of this video just straight up isn't recording anymore, and I have to scrap this episode, and this is going to be a take 2 video. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. I know for now I'm going to go after the Tengu. Like, I saw them out there in the skybox, so now I'm going to chase them down. Now I wonder, if this is a potentially scrapped take 1, can I talk about all those crimes that I gone and done? Probably not, eh? Probably not. Maybe this is still viable. Maybe it's been comedy gold so far, I tell you that much. As evidenced by the fact that I just ran into a pole. Maybe not comedy gold, more like, I don't know, comedy participation ribbon. And I think that's the embodiment of my channel, really. Not particularly noteworthy, but boy did you show up! So, I'm just gonna drop through the map here and call it a video. Or 2 videos. Or maybe 3 if I have to do a retake. Well, what do you know? You can walk up here. I knew I wasn't wrong. About this, or anything ever. So let's step out and see what the game wants to throw at us. With the caveat that I will ultimately throw myself down a pit to see what's going on with this video select. Aww. Well, At least the game had the decency to spawn me right beside the house, so I don't waste much time coming over here to check. Also, why did the game throw me outside? I thought that was a behaviour native to the woman in the house, not the house itself. Well, I guess it must have been another ghost. Man, a lot of deep brown skies lately. I've talked in the past how the dark green skies look like we're underwater, like we're in a pond or something. This one looks like we're in a swamp, and that's no good. Also, where are those bird noises coming from? Because they are not supposed to be out here near the cliffs. They're, you know, elsewhere. The sister city to Scenic over there? I don't know. But let's try to find them, how about? Yes, instead of ending the video ASAP, my playstyle has kind of fallen apart. I'm like that with a lot of projects in real life. What if I do X, Y, and Z, I will say. And that's a great idea, says my brain. How about we don't? I mean, that's why my videos can be very spotty. Like, my drive to do them just comes and goes. Same deal with all my projects, really. I will happily sit down and write or program for days, but only when the urge strikes me. Because otherwise my projects just kind of sit there and don't do anything. And one day, I will remember that you can't link with that guy. But today is not that day. So let's follow him out. Let's roam free in the natural world. Because I've only been there like 3 times tonight and didn't accomplish anything worthwhile, so maybe this time's the charm. Just as soon as the game loads in. Come on. Oh, dishwasher skies again. I meant to say swamp water. If your dishwasher and dishwater looks like that, then maybe don't wash your dishes in it. So, I'm re-rolling. And we're here again! How bizarre! Well, I'm gonna go get hit by a train. Which is always one of my concerns when I'm walking or driving and I pass over a level crossing. I am petrified the barriers are just gonna slam down and then it's horrible trainy death. But that said, I'm also worried the jet engine's gonna fall out of the sky and crush my room. Not the building in which I live. It will land exactly on the roof of my flat, and all of my stuff will halt its pace after it's killed me. I mean, I have many irrational fears. But let's not talk about those. Let's go this way and head into the Zen Garden with a quiet meditation. Running to the Zen Garden doesn't count, though. You can't hurry the path to non-enlightenment. Also, I've only just noticed this because I wasn't able to read it before, but the floor says boo 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 over and over again. And that's a sound effect that is used for spitting. But like in English it would be patooey, or whatever. Also, the rocks, they also say ya. Except backwards. Which actually is the same text they used for the bell near the entrance. And that's a very clever way to reuse assets. Use them for similar, but different things that are so far apart you've forgotten one before you see the other. Because, like, if it weren't for the very distinct design of the canna, I would not have noticed that at all. Oh, yeah, I've got nothing to say about the house right now, so back to a tight rock corridor. Dreamt about a lot of those lately, I tell you what. Mostly being in school, except instead of school, it's a labyrinth. Oh, and speaking of which, here is a confusing sign that points to absolutely nothing. I mean, I think I prefer it if this thing actually did sync up to somewhere, but it was so far away it made no odds. You know, like pointing to the giant crystal on the other side of the world map, and you can't get there in a straight line anyway, so who even cares? I don't know, it's like mixing possible and impossible space at the same time and somehow making it work. Also, I know we're not exactly where we were before, but I see no reason not to go back to the train tracks and see if we can make a trio of getting hit by a train. Yeah, the bell is sounding, so let's go. Nope, almost missed it there. Also, I like how you can briefly see the inside of the carriage when it does that. And that it's a funky rainbow pattern. Whoa. The heck's going on with that? So I don't know how well this is going to show up in the final video, but it looks like the houses in the distance are only half rendering, so you can just see straight through them. And because it's the distance, I can't really get close enough to show you. Oh no, no, that was a good one. I wonder if the game is finally starting to corrupt to the point of unplayability. Because that'd be, like, kind of great on the one hand, but pretty lousy on the other, because that way we don't get to see the ending. I'd have to call do-over on this entire LP, and have to go through 5 more years of stalling to get to the end and hope that everything plays nicely along the way. Actually, that's another rare one. We don't often end up in this little tunnel, so... You know, of course I choose to exit and annoy the peacock post-haste. Alright, is this Happy Town again? Oh, it is, but no, I'm not talking to you. I'm going to take my chances of getting hit by a train, thank you very much. Oh, that's a shame I missed. I also don't get to turn and see what happens when the train hits the grey man, which would be a nice outcome. And that's a totally well-adjusted thing to say. Shut up, you don't know me. Alright, down we go. Time to check the results in-game and in real life. Well, it's a pretty lousy result in-game, so I'm going to see how real life did. You should join us next time for some more LSD. And until next time, goodbye!